There are truths about life that no one teaches you in school. They are not written in textbooks or posted on walls. They come in whispers, in heartbreak, in moments of silence so deep, you finally hear the voice within. Carl Jung believed that life is not just a series of events. It is a deep psychological and spiritual journey, one that pushes you to face yourself over and over until all that's left is truth. And truth, real truth, is never comfortable, but it is always necessary. Truth #1. You are not who you think you are. Most people spend their lives trying to become someone they were never meant to be. They wear masks, perform roles, follow rules that were handed down to them before they could even speak. You think you are your name, your job, your beliefs. But those are only the surface. Who are you when everything is stripped away? Jung said that the journey of life is not about becoming something more. It's about becoming who you really are. That's the process of individuation. To discover your true self beneath the ego, the expectations and the noise. Truth #2. The shadow you refuse to face will rule your life. There is a part of you that you hide. Not just from others, but from yourself. It's where your fear lives, your anger, your jealousy, your shame. It's called the shadow, and the less you look at it, the more control it has over you. You think you're kind until you explode. You think you're in control until you're not. Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. To truly grow, you must turn toward the darkness within you, not to be consumed by it, but to integrate it. That's how you become whole. Truth #3. Most people live in a state of inner division. There's a war inside, between what you feel and what you show, between what you desire and what you allow, between who you are and who the world expects you to be. This division creates anxiety, depression, loneliness. You can be surrounded by people and still feel unseen. Why? Because when you abandon yourself to please others, you disappear. Healing begins the moment you choose inner unity over outer validation. Truth #4. The wound is where the light enters. We try to run from pain, distract ourselves, numb ourselves, deny what happened. But pain is not the enemy. Pain is a doorway. Jung believed that your deepest wound is not just a scar. It is the place where transformation begins. Transformation begins when you finally turn toward your suffering and ask, what is this trying to teach me? You begin to heal. You don't have to be fearless. You only have to be willing. Truth #5. Your inner child still lives inside you. No matter how old you are, the child you once was still lives in you. The one who cried, the one who wasn't heard, the one who made themselves small to stay safe, the one who thought love had to be earned. That child is still waiting for you to say, it wasn't your fault. You didn't deserve that. I see you now. To become a whole adult, you must go back and hold the child you once were. Truth #6. Real love begins with self-honesty. You cannot love others if you lie to yourself. If you hide your truth, you offer only a version of yourself, not your heart. Most relationships fail not because of lack of love, but because of lack of self-awareness. When you meet your shadow, when you accept your wounds, when you stop expecting others to fix what you won't face, then love becomes real, not perfect, but honest. Truth #7. The world you see is a reflection of your inner world. Projection is powerful. You don't see things as they are, you see them as you are. The anger you see in others is often your own. The rejection you fear is often your own voice turned inward. Jung said we must withdraw our projections. That means taking back the energy we place onto others and asking, what is this showing me about myself? This is how we reclaim our power, not by changing the world, but by changing the world, but by changing how we see it. Truth #8. Wholeness, not perfection, is the goal. You were never meant to be perfect. You were meant to be whole. Perfection is a prison. Wholeness is freedom. Wholeness means you embrace your contradictions. You make space for your light and your shadow. You stop pretending. You start integrating. You start integrating. It's not about being good all the time. It's about being real, with yourself, with others, with life. Truth #9. The psyche knows what the ego does not. Your ego wants control. It wants certainty, praise, success. But the psyche, your deeper self, wants growth. And growth often comes disguised as loss, rejection, failure, loneliness. What the ego calls suffering, the soul often calls awakening. Sometimes life takes things away not to punish you, but to return you to yourself. Truth #10. The path to meaning is found in the inner life. The world tells you meaning is out there, in money, in status, in achievement. But Jung said the real gold is inside, in dreams, in feelings, in imagination, in reflection. When you go inward, you begin to ask deeper questions. Who am I? What is life asking of me? What have I been ignoring? And in those questions, you begin to find peace. Truth #11. The soul does not speak in words. It speaks in symbols, dreams, art, archetypes, myths, art. These are the language of the soul. Jung believed that your unconscious communicates in symbols. A dream isn't random. It's a message. A feeling isn't weakness. It's intelligence. A story that repeats in your life isn't bad luck. It's the psyche trying to teach you something. Listen. Decode. Trust what speaks without sound. Truth #12. You must die to who you were to become who you are. Every transformation requires a death. The death of a role, a belief, a fantasy. You don't grow by addition. You grow by subtraction, by shedding what no longer fits, by burning the masks. Fits, by burning the masks, by grieving the false self you had to become to survive. In that death, something new is born, someone real. Truth #13. Facing the truth will first make you miserable, then set you free. Truth hurts. It breaks illusions. It shatters the ego. It reveals everything you didn't want to know. But after the pain comes clarity. After the sorrow comes strength. And after the collapse comes rebirth. Jung knew that to avoid truth is to live half a life, a shadow life. But to face truth is to finally come home to yourself. Truth #14. The most dangerous person is the one who has nothing left to hide. When you stop hiding, you become powerful. Because no one can shame a person who has made peace with their shadow. When you face your fears, you become brave. Not because the fear is gone, but because it no longer controls you. This is true freedom, and it begins with radical honesty. Truth #15. Life is not meant to be understood. It is meant to be lived. You don't need to have it all figured out. Life is not a problem to be solved. It's a mystery to be experienced. There will be joy and pain, love and loss, light and darkness. But through it all, your task is not to control it. Your task is to live it fully, to grow, to awaken, to remember who you are beneath the noise. That is what Carl Jung called the journey of the soul. There comes a moment, quiet, trembling, and unmistakable, when the outer world can no longer distract you from the noise within. You can feel it, even if you don't yet have the words. The job no longer satisfies. The applause begins to sound hollow. The relationships feel shallow, disconnected. Shallow, disconnected. The routines that once gave you a sense of identity now feel like a slow death in disguise. This is not depression, though it can feel like it. It is not failure, though others may think so. It is the soul rising, not with fireworks, but with a soft ache. And Jung knew this ache well. A soft ache And Jung knew this ache well. He called it the call of the self, the deeper, wiser part of you that knows who you truly are and what you came here to become. Most people ignore this call. They turn back toward comfort, distraction, and repetition. But if you're listening, truly listening, you realize the call is not trying to destroy your life. It's trying to give you a new one. One that is honest, one that is free. This new life will not be built by adding more. It will come by letting go. You will lose people who only loved your mask. You will lose people who only loved your mask. You will release dreams that were never really yours. You will shed layer after layer of illusion until you stand there, are raw, vulnerable, and real. And in that nakedness, you will discover a truth Jung whispered through all his work. All his work, the privilege of a lifetime, is to become who you truly are. But becoming who you are is not a gentle path. It is a fire. It will burn everything that is not you. The false identities, the old defenses, the lies you told yourself to survive, the unconscious beliefs you inherited from wounded parents, from culture, from trauma. This fire doesn't destroy you. It reveals you. In that heat, you see clearly for the first time. You realize the enemy you feared was not out there. It lived in your own resistance to truth. Jung understood that most suffering is not caused by pain itself, but by the refusal to face it. We suffer because we won't look. We suffer because we hide. We suffer because we keep pretending we're fine when our soul is screaming. The psyche, Jung said, is self-regulating. It will keep sending messages through dreams, emotions, relationships, even illness, until you finally pay attention. And when you do, you discover the real war was never against the world. It was against your own unconscious, the beliefs you never questioned, the wounds you never healed, the voices in your head that were never yours to begin with. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. That's what Jung taught us. The world is full of sleepers, people chasing things they don't need to impress people they don't love, all while forgetting who they are. To awaken is not to become better than others. It is to remember what they forgot. That we are not here to fit in. We are here to become whole. And wholeness requires radical self-acceptance. You must sit with your flaws without flinching. You must meet your shadow with compassion, not shame. You must forgive yourself for not knowing better when you didn't. You must grieve deeply, obey, not just the pain done to you, but the parts of yourself you abandoned to survive, the dreams you gave up, the truth you silenced, the love you withheld from yourself. Jung believed that the soul will not let you rest until you return to it. Not the ego, not the image, the soul. That quiet, steady presence within you that has always known the way home. But here's what no one tells you about coming home to yourself. It's lonely at first. Because when you stop betraying yourself to belong, you may stop belonging to the places that required that betrayal. Old friendships dissolve. Family members grow distant. Your ambitions shift. Your identity unravels. And yet, something sacred emerges in the space left behind. A peace that doesn't depend on performance. A purpose that isn't tied to validation. A knowing that cannot be given by the world and therefore cannot be taken away. This is the foundation of real strength. Not the kind that dominates others, but the kind that no longer needs to. The kind of strength that comes from no longer being at war with yourself.